So everybody knows, I mean, if you watch rockets and stuff from NASA and the space agencies, the rockets go up and then they go horizontal, parallel to the soil, to the earth, and they go down. Before they do that, they switch to CGI. So what you see on TV and internet and stuff, when you see these supposed live streams in space, that's CGI, and they switch to the studio and stuff. So a human being who sees this picture and does not understand that everything is like planned and staged and Disney, Disney and NASA and stuff. So if you still see this and you're still saying that flat earthers are conspiracy theorists and stuff like that, and you insult them, then that's a human that does that. It's because he's against humanity. I mean, I saw this for the first time, and I saw this several years ago. I was like, wow, finally, a picture is worth more than 1,000 words, and you understand that's all this thing with space is just in your mind. And Walt Disney, NASA and stuff, even from a symbology point of view, they're actually showing it to you in your face. So I don't know why human beings, the big majority of them, they still believe and fall for this whole thing with space and stuff. All rockets go up, sideways, and then down. A photo of a picture is worth more than 1,000 words, and it's there. It's just reality. Nothing ever goes to space. Call it a dome, call it like a force field, call it whatever you want. The thing is, the only thing NASA has ever sent to space is your imagination, and you actually approve it. So in the news, in the official news, everybody knows now that undersea cables between the continents on the on the bottom of the oceans, they transport over 90% of international data. And this is like from the NASA Jet Propulsion Lab artist John Howard. He's pretty much doing latest animations of satellites, of what he considers in his mind that a satellite should look like. So everything is just imagination. It's computer graphics. There's this thing here doesn't exist. There's no such thing as space, no such thing as a globe spinning in space. It's just in your imagination. It's just that you want to see this because you want to believe in this. If you do, you want to search for a photo of satellite in space, there's none. Everything is just art, computer graphic art. This, for example, in space, who is taking this picture? Like, this is supposed to be floating in space. You can actually see how the construction, how pathetic it is. But anyway, who is taking the picture like in space to actually show it to you? Let's see more stuff. So the undersea cable map, this is fact, this is science, this is engineering. Thing is, people go against this. If you do not accept this, then you're against humanity. And this is the reason why the bottom of the oceans are full of this, because there's no satellites. We do not get internet from satellites. We get it from balloons. You can see now. So if the earth is round and we have thousands of satellites into orbit, why the heck would you need so many cables spanning from continent to continent? Well, simply because that's the way the world works. Underwater cables, they provide 99% of Earth's internet connection, and the remaining 1% is via satelloons, from balloons. And this is only possible thing with balloons. We're gonna see what Google does in the military, because the Earth is flat and is not moving. And when I say flat, I'm not saying like a pancake. I'm saying there's no curvature. You can have like concavity, whatever you want, but you get the point. So these are the satellites, actually. So this is the reason why you can watch my video right now on your phone. It's not because the signal goes up somewhere in space. It's because the signal goes to a tower, and from that tower it goes to a power station, and that power station is connected with a cable which runs underneath the sea and connects all the other cables. These are the cables. These are like what satellites are supposed to be doing, but this doesn't exist. It's just fake CGI. So undersea cables, they power the internet, and everything is internet in today's day and age. So that's the reason why we have so good internet. And the truth is that these things, these balloons, they actually exist. So you can call these satellites, but they're not actually. So these are not responsible for like 99% of the world. They're just like they're just built for like that 1% of places where like cables underneath the sea do not reach, where fiber optics doesn't reach and stuff. So that's the important thing that NASA and Google and Facebook are doing. So you have to research. The truth is they're hidden in plain sight. Satellites aren't in outer space. They're just floating balloons, and they're meant to do this for the purposes of when you do not have reach with fiber optics or with the internet provided by the underneath cables. And that's why we have like these towers. You need these towers for the distribution of the signal, and that signal can only travel on the flatness on the flat surface of the world. And also the military and NASA and stuff, they do have recon planes. They don't use satellites for reconnaissance and stuff, and for recon they use planes, and that's something that we all know and they know. And like in the NASA, Helios is a drone for recon and stuff. So also the Hubble, the famous Hubble telescope, does not exist. It's just the Sophia telescope, which exists, is by NASA, and it's a plane. And this is the Sophia telescope, the stratospheric observatory for infrared astronomy. And those pictures that you see on the official websites by the supposed Hubble, they're actually from Sophia. And this is like pure science. It's there. It's not something invented. And then no satellites in space, just NASA balloons. And balloons can float because the Earth does not move. Also satellites all over the world. You see NASA, so they're using planes, recon stuff, easy. And these like what are the satellites? So these are like all the options you have for like air distribution when like underneath like undersea cables are not possible. Check out, undersea cables are over 90%, and all the rest is, well, you see here cell towers and high altitude airships and platforms and lighter than air vehicles and HALE and HALO and the HAS and the nano balloon system, the NBS, the Google Loon system. So all these are like the newest systems. We also had DARPA and the GWEN, the Ground Wave Emergency Network, and the SLFCS, the Survivable Low Frequency. But then with the evolution of technology from the 80s and moving onwards, pretty much the undersea cables are the ones that, and especially in the 90s. In the 90s, they built in the 90s, and starting in the new millennium, from the year 2000, they built so many underneath sea cables. That's why the internet is pretty much in the last decade so awesome, because of the capacity and technology of the underneath cables. This is the Project Loon. Everything is with balloons, and balloons can float with these 1% satellites that are floating in the atmosphere. And the whole thing with the beaming internet, like Facebook and Google, they would not spend so much money and development of underneath sea cables if it's true that the Earth is like surrounded by these fake CGI stuff. So unfortunately, people do not investigate satellites. For example, they're made of gold, aluminium, titanium, and carbon, right? And they're like in an area in the thermosphere, temperatures between 500 degrees centigrade and 2000, or like Fahrenheit if you want to do the change. So the melting temperatures of these elements are 1000, 1600, and 660. So they would melt. Now if you had this in space, it would melt. It would not be possible even to, like, we would have no communication. We will still live in the fire and wood age and iron age and stuff. So satellites are a myth. All the international data is from submarine cables, and for other means where like these cables do not reach, or like the cell towers do not reach, you use high altitude balloons and planes and drones and all that stuff. It's easy peasy, but you need to acknowledge the fact that you have to wake up. Like I said, people who still see this and they still insult you and they call you a conspiracy theorist, they're lost cause. That's the only thing you can say. It's just in the end. And I hope you enjoyed this. And like I said, the truth is out there. It's just in front of your nose. Especially they use symbology so much to convey the truth. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video with more interesting stuff. And hey ho, let's praise these cables, because this is the reason why we have YouTube today, and it's the reason why you can actually watch my video. So I'll see you guys in the next video.